The ocean is full of surreal creatures of all kinds of shapes and sizes. In this video, you will be surprised when learning about some truly remarkable tiny sea critters in the world. Welcome to Give a Fact, and you are watching the smallest underwater animals on Earth. If you like this kind of video, be sure to subscribe for more great content, or tell us what you want to learn more about in the comment section below. Now let's get straight to the video, shall we? 1. Krill. Krill are not members of the fish family. They are a collection of small crustaceans instead. They look similar to shrimp, but they are incredibly tiny, just 2.4 inches long, and weigh only 0.035 ounces. Because they are abundant and small, they play a very important role in the marine food chain. Krill's main food source is phytoplankton, microscopic single-celled plants that drift near the ocean's surface, and they live off carbon dioxide and the sun's rays. They, in turn, are the main staple in the diets of literally hundreds of different animals, from fish to birds to baleen whales. In Antarctica, Antarctic krill are among the largest of the 85 known krill species. Their estimated numbers range from 129 million tons to 6 billion tons in the waters around Antarctica. Antarctic krill can live up to 10 years, amazing longevity for such a heavily hunted creature. They spend their days avoiding predators in the cold depths of the Antarctic Ocean, some 320 feet below the surface. During the night, they drift up the water column toward the surface in search of phytoplankton. Did you know that Antarctic krill stocks may have dropped by 80% since the 1970s? The reason for this is global warming. 2. Irukandji Jellyfish. Found in tropical regions including the Caribbean and the Indo-Pacific, the Irukandji jellyfish is quite possibly the smallest and most venomous jellyfish in the world. Their venom has been described as 100 times as potent as that of a cobra and 1,000 times stronger than a tarantula's. At just 10 millimeters, the Irukandji are unique for more than just their size. While most sea jellies have stingers only on their tentacles, the Irukandji have stingers on their bell as well. Due to their small size, these jellyfish can sting people even inside net enclosures. Signs and symptoms of Irukandji envenomation are not always immediate and may appear 5 to 45 minutes after the initial sting. Reactions to their venom have been so severe that these tiny jellies have an entire syndrome named after them. One of the effects of this is that it creates a feeling of certain doom and triggers anxiety attacks and nausea, all of which can be pretty bad if you are in the sea. There is thought to be a wealth of unattributed deaths that might have been caused by this tiny creature. So what should you do if you are stung by these jellyfish? First off, you need to get rid of the jellyfish first, or much better, get out of the water if you can. Second, don't rub the sting area. Instead, immediately douse the sting area with vinegar for at least 30 seconds. If you don't have vinegar in hand, rinse it well with seawater. Next, an ambulance immediately, so the victims can be regularly monitored and resuscitated if needed. 3. Plankton. According to National Geographic, plankton is a collection of tiny organisms that live at and beneath the surface of lakes, rivers, ponds, and oceans across the planet. They don't swim. Instead, they are carried by tides, currents, and other forces. The two most prominent types of plankton in the ocean are zooplankton, which are tiny animal organisms, and phytoplankton, which are plant-like. Although they are tiny, just around 0.2 micrometers at their smallest, they are considered the lungs of the planet and play such an important role in absorbing CO2, as well as producing oxygen in the ocean. Did you know that 50% of the oxygen production on Earth comes from the ocean? A large majority of which is from phytoplankton. Apart from zooplankton and phytoplankton, other forms of plankton include bacterial and fungal. Although we have talked about marine plankton so far, there is also a wide assortment of aeroplankton that float through the atmosphere. Global warming and ocean acidification, which are caused by too much CO2 in seawater, are threats to plankton. This will cause abnormal growth in them, which could have a big ripple effect on the higher levels of the food chain. Other threats to plankton are microplastics, because these tiny bits of plastic will block sunlight. Therefore, sunlight-dependent creatures like plankton will be affected too, or otherwise organisms that feed on these phytoplankton will also ingest large quantities of the microplastics. 4. Pygmy Seahorse. Because these colorful creatures inhabit shallow waters and blend in well with the algae-covered rocks where they live, these tiny aquatic animals, only the size of a grain of rice, were not discovered until 1969. They found that pygmy seahorses, unlike their larger cousins, only live in Murcella gorgonian corals, which are located in the Indo-West Pacific at depths of 16 to 40 meters. Their diet consists of plankton, such as copepods and other small crustaceans. As for their behavior, they seem to be quite active, even playful. They are dancers at heart during courtship, which could last for days. They circle one another or a floating object, flashing colors and intertwining tails to express their love. Although they are said to mate for life, if the two are separated for a time because of any reasons, they may switch partners. Did you know that populations of larger seahorses are being depleted in many areas of the world? It is because people seek them for use in traditional Chinese medicine and the aquarium trade. 5. Nudibranchs. Nudibranchs' size may be confusing to put on this list because they can be as large as 12 inches long. However, they can also be as small as 0.25 inches. They have 2 highly sensitive tentacles on their heads, super useful for preying. The interesting thing about them is that they are what they eat. Not only do they get their color from the food they eat, the nudibranch expert who's discovered more than 1,000 species says that, unlike other mollusks that grow a shell, the first line of defense for many nudibranchs is chemical, not physical. They retain the foul-tasting poisons of their prey and use them to attack their predators. This defense mechanism gives nudibranchs increased maneuverability, and they actively overpower and eat dangerous or stinger-studded prey such as anemones, corals, and sometimes even other nudibranchs. Nudibranchs are simultaneous hermaphrodites and can mate with any other mature member of their species. Their lifespan varies widely, with some living less than a month and others living up to 1 year. Family size depends on the species. Some lay just a few eggs at a time, while others deposit several hundred or several million. Did you know that the nudibranch detects olfactory clues in the water around them, just as land-based creatures smell the air or taste potential food? These chemical cues are how they find food and mates. 6. Dwarf Lanternshark. The smallest shark, a dwarf lanternshark, is smaller than a human hand and only grows to around 6 to 8 inches in length. It's rarely seen and little is known about it, having only been observed a few times between Barranquilla and Santa Marta off the coast of Venezuela and Colombia, at depths of between 283 and 439 meters. It is identifiable through its long, flat head and black ventral markings. It has a midline dorsal fin. Like all other lantern sharks, the dwarf lantern shark has light-emitting organs called photophores along its belly and fins, hence their names. These help them camouflage when they feed in shallow water. The lit-up belly blends in with the sunlight streaming down from above. In darker waters, the light attracts smaller animals, which the shark preys upon. Compared to other sharks, it has big eyes to help it see in the mostly dark waters of the ocean's twilight zone. Scientists are not sure about this smallest shark's whole reproductive process and habits, but they believe that their reproduction is ovoviviparous. This term means that they lay eggs and nurture them inside the mother's body. And that is a wrap. What did you learn from this video? Let us know in the comment section below. We hope that our educational videos will help spread the knowledge so everyone can protect our world and biodiversity together. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you find our videos useful and want us to make more videos. Until next time, give a fact.